Welcome to another
Welcome to
coffee.
another coffee.
Welcome to another week of the
Welcome to
Coffee
another week of the
Conversations,
coffee conversations,
powered by
powered
Lines
by
in the
Lines
Shining, the emerging
Shining,
in the
the
fourth
emerging in the fourth
Indian Business Group of
Indian Business
Commerce,
Group of Commerce,
Chamber of Commerce,
Chamber
IBG.
of Commerce, IB.
All right,
All
and
right,
today
and
with us
today
we
with
have
us we have
our speaker,
speaker,
Mr.
Mr.
Shashank.S.Bathija.
Shashank.S.Bathija.
So before we
So
start today's
before we start today's
conversation,
conversation,
our theme of today is
our
going
theme
to
of
be
today is
What
going
is
to
this?
be
My
my
profession, my dream.
profession, my dream.
So welcome
So
aboard,
welcome aboard,
Mr. Shashank.
Mr. Shashank.
Well, thank you so
And
much, Mansoor, for that great intro. And it's a pleasure and an absolute pleasure being here. And I'm really excited as to how this conversation is going to be taken forward and the things that we are going to explore during this interview.
that would definitely be
That
great. Yeah.
would definitely be great. Yeah.
Okay, I like.
Okay,
Are you able to hear me
are
double
you
double, or am I like
double double
clear?
or am I like clear?
No, you're absolutely clear.
I'm absolutely clear.
I'm
Okay, let's
absolutely
start
clear.
then
Okay,
today's
let's start then
conversation.
today's.
So, could you tell us a little
So
bit
could you
about
tell us a little
yourself
bit about
in the base of what do
in
you
the
do
base of what
now,
do you do now
and what is your
and
educational
what is your
background?
educational background?
So Mansoor, currently I'm pursuing my BBA and my third year right now, my final year. Yeah, I study in St. Joseph's University in Bangalore, and I'm pursuing my third year BBA currently. And as a hobby and profession, and in terms of the work that I do, I'm a web developer and an app developer myself. And along with that, I also run a business that's called PS Smart Digital, which is into web development, app development, marketing, corporate branding, etc. And yeah, that's all about me. And I'm just another basic teenager in India.
That's great. Okay, before you started PS Smart Digital, what were you doing before that?
Mhm. Well, before that, like every other student who had just got done with their 12th board exams, even though they didn't get to complete their 12th board exam due to COVID, I had actually had nothing else to do. I used to, work with my dad in his company. So our family business is all towards, exports of garments and manufacturing them. So I've been working with my dad since eighth standard, in fact. So, and the business runs in the family. So it was, made sure that I was already, driven towards business, and that's how it all started. And later on during 12th, and when COVID hit, I saw, a sudden urge of marketing, coming up due to COVID, and physical stores getting shut down because all wanted a space on the online industry, and they wanted a piece of that, and they wanted their business to keep on going even though their physical store was closed down. So already I did know how to develop websites, but I didn't know how to develop e-commerce websites. And then I was clueless about marketing. So I had to take up courses. I had a 6 months of professional course taken up, and I've done my certification training through Google itself. And since then, I've learned every single thing that my business is all about. And then we had to hire a team during COVID itself. Then the work started off, and so far 3 years down the lane, we have completed our milestone of 250 clients, and that's been a journey which it's really amazing.
Definitely. So, but why did you exactly decide that you want to go and like become an entrepreneur and go into like starting your own digital media agency? Like, how did you plan it? I mean, you explained how you
Mhm.
planned it, but why did you specifically decide that this is the thing what you actually want to do?
Well, Mansoor, like I said, I had learned coding. Like we were taught HTML coding in our eighth grade in St. Joseph's.
Mhm.
So what was taught to us was, like a hobby. I really liked, the website, the coding language, which we all did. It was like, me learning a new language, like how people learn how to speak languages. This was something new to me, and I was really into it. So when I was in ninth grade, or when I was just finishing ninth grade, my dad's friend came up to me and he wanted a website to be developed, a simple website for his company. And during that time, having a website didn't really matter for your business. It was just to showcase that your business is also available on the online space. It didn't have much importance at that. So he just asked me, could you, just develop a simple informative based website for me, like just a page? And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. So I did a very basic website, and if I look at the standards that I did then, I would even feel ashamed that what the hell did I even do at that point of time. So I did that, and turns out that for that time it was really good. And he referred me another client. My dad's friend referred me another client. He's like, could you create a similar website that you have done for me? So I did that for him, and a passion slowly turned into a profession for me. So I started getting referral based clients later on. So at one point of time, there was a situation where they had more requirements. They just didn't want to stop at HTML. They wanted PHP websites. They wanted e-commerce, because e-commerce was in rise at that point of time. But I didn't have the expertise for it. I had to learn myself. So then we had to hire a team of a good. At that time there was only a team of 3 people, out of which one was my very close friend. So we started developing websites. I slowly learned from my mistakes as well. We did do a lot of mistakes, and then from there we built on to a team of 20. Now we are strong at 35 members for our web development team itself. So that's how it started from web development. And later on, we started having clients as to they kept having requests. You have done a website for us, why don't you do marketing as well? Because it all has a flow to it. So marketing also, I didn't know anything. I just knew that we could use social media, but I didn't know how to do it. So I had to learn that. I learned that. I improved my knowledge. I made mistakes. Then after that, with me, I hired a team, because this team had a practical knowledge towards it, and all I had was a theoretical end to it. So I learned the practical way with my team, and later on we started off with marketing as well. So this was how it all progressed on forward.
Right, that's very interesting. So could you tell us like what services does PS Digital like provide?
Definitely. So we are completely full stack in terms of web development. We do static websites, dynamic websites, e-commerce websites. We are also into app development. Complete UI UX of the app is done in house. Then we are into marketing, that comprises of your Google Ads marketing, YouTube ads, then your search engine optimization, social media management enhancement, etc. We also have a professional team for blogs and content writing itself. And we are also into corporate branding. So corporate branding in terms of complete apparel base. So your t-shirts, your jackets, hoodies, everything is being manufactured in house. Your embroidery, logo, everything is done here itself. So there is absolutely, we don't outsource anything from it. So
All
because
right.
of that, our prices are very competitive.
Right. So we have seen that you help a lot of companies to like get more, get more sales through social media. So in
Yeah.
particular, what kind of platforms do you mostly focus on for getting like more sales or more leads when any company approaches you?
So exactly. So, for according to me, social media, and I've seen this kind of, difference when we do marketing. Social media is more hell-bent towards that kind of an audience that's curiosity based. Like an audience would come up to you, they would check your company out, they would know all the prices, they would see everything, but they won't convert. But for some companies that are into aggressive marketing, they want conversions as well. So at that point of time, we recommend them to go for Google Ads, because that's a place where people do convert. Because if you're typing something on Google as to say for example, you need some great restaurants near you, at that point of time you're actually searching for something, you need it, that's why you're searching on Google. And
Right.
we know that if a person is on Google, they have to convert. Even if they are competition, no issues, but we try to drive that competition away in such a way that we are listed on the first page of Google, so that people who are going to somebody else end up coming to us as well. So Google Ads is a great place to get great conversions. But if you want to do great form of publicity, advertising, just marketing, and you are not hell bent upon conversions, you can really opt for social media. And in social media, obviously it's Instagram that's at the top at this point of time. With Instagram, you already cover Facebook, so that's well and good. And if you are more towards the businessy side of it, Instagram and LinkedIn works really good.
So in particular, Shashank, like when like
Yeah.
since like development is taking place, and then we have like a complete factor of the professional side, which is towards the LinkedIn, towards LinkedIn. That's what's
Yeah.
the whole corporate side is over there. When you
Exactly.
walk
Yeah.
up to them and you tell them, that like LinkedIn is good, no doubt about it, but you
Yeah.
should even try Instagram. And then, so
Yeah.
whenever you have those kind of conversations, how
Mm-hmm.
are you able to like manage them, like and tell them, okay, LinkedIn है आपका, no problem, आप कर सकते हो, but आपको Instagram भी try करना चाहिए. So how do you
Uh-huh.
go with that conversations with them?
So that's actually, it used to be tricky for me earlier, but later on I got the crack of it. So most of the times, the client knows what they want, but they don't know how to get that. So they
Yeah,
have
correct.
everything. They have LinkedIn, they have all social media platforms, but everything is haphazard. They have great products, but they don't know how to present it. So, and every social media has a way of presenting, and every social media has a different way of working. LinkedIn, you can approach, you can actually approach the top heads of various companies, the big five companies. You can reach to Fortune 500 owners, founders, etc. But there's a certain way you present it. You can't present an Instagram reel on LinkedIn, and you can't
Right.
present in a LinkedIn post on Instagram, because these two are various platforms. They're very different from each other. So when you have to make a client understand as to, you have a LinkedIn, you have a good Instagram, but there's a different way of approaching it. So initially we, give them a week to try out. We show them the results of 1 week, which, we fund by ourselves. We are like, no worries, you can just have the results, you can keep the results to yourself. We will do the marketing completely by ourselves. That 1 week of test run, we show it to them that we can generate leads through this as well as this, but there'll be a significant difference of it. And when they see that difference, they understand by themselves, because when you're targeting an Indian based client, they and domestic client especially, they don't want to spend that much. They want to spend little, but they want great results. So for these people, you have to show them results, because they know what they want, but they don't know how to get it. So that's how our approach is. We are like, we practically show it to them that this is an amazing way that they can go about it, and it's up to them if they want to choose this or that.
Okay. But then again, but whenever you have had those kind of conversations with
Uh-huh.
people, and when you talk
Uh-huh.
about them like generating leads, so everyone has a different like concern. Like some people just want to be shown, other people want to be
Yes.
basically into the part where they want to generate leads. So
Yeah.
eventually, as you rightfully said, that you can't put a reel
Mhm.
on LinkedIn and you can't put the content over there. So, but
Yeah.
then ever you could you like share a certain kind of like a client or a certain kind of experience that you have had when
Uh-huh.
such a thing happened with you? Like, if you don't mind sharing a certain
No,
instance in your
no, no,
life.
definitely I would.
Definitely.
Definitely. So I actually had a client of mine that was into spiritual wellness and spiritual
Okay.
training. So and this is an industry that believes, into meditation and spirituality, Ayurveda and everything. And this was a
Mhm.
client from Dubai. So she had, great funds, a great budget also to work on in terms of marketing. So that was a great part of it. Otherwise,
Right.
we are always restricted in terms of budget when it comes to marketing. Her Instagram page was really good. Like, she had great reels, and every single thing that she did was explained clearly by her itself. But her LinkedIn was not that great. And her target was that we contact MNCs, and she wanted to, have work sessions and, workshops for MNCs and other companies, because, in terms of stress management, in terms of health benefits, etc. And she wanted to sell her products to them as well. And the great place to find MNC founders, decision makers was on LinkedIn. Nobody was, that sort of people were not there in Instagram, even though they were, it was a private account. So and basically the only difficulty we had was because of the language barrier, number one. And the other thing was, she did know what we were actually trying to say. We showed her the results as well, but she expected us to put her reels on an Instagram, on a LinkedIn page, her LinkedIn page and her
Okay.
company page itself. Exactly. So that was a very shocking thing for us, because we've never come across something like this. You can't, just put reels and expect conversions to happen. Obviously it's a
Right.
great place, because videos explain much better than text, but you can't put the kind of videos she was asking us to put. So I was like, okay, fine, we will give it a try. So we did that. We didn't get great conversions. First, we listened to the client. We asked them what you want. We did what the client wanted. Like, okay, fine. We put a reel. It gave us the conversions, but it didn't reach the expectations we needed, and neither the
Okay.
client did. So I told my client, give me one chance. What your reel is all about, I'll convert it into text. I added all my hashtags required. I pinned most of the people that I felt were relevant to her post. And in fact, to be honest, every single person that ended up liking that post, out of which half of them actually converted and signed up that form, and they signed up for her session. So her online session itself boosted really that great that she also got an opportunity to work with the same people offline whom she had never met before. So
Okay.
that was the power of LinkedIn that we ended up establishing. The thing that couldn't happen through a video reel happened through a text reel. And LinkedIn, if you understand the crux of it, you have to add in the relevant hashtags and tag the relevant people in your post itself. So that even if everybody doesn't see it, people who are in your network at least see it. So that it is visible on their pages, they end up referring to their friends, so on and so forth. It's like a domino effect. And once these people got to know about all this, they signed up for it, and everything went well. We got great conversions, and the client is also happy. I'm happy. It's a win-win situation for both.
Definitely. So as you said, you took the reel and you created a text format video. You're trying to say that, right?
Yes,
So,
yes,
so because I have heard that on LinkedIn, you normally put out like a more than 3 minute video and then it's watched and everything. So when you
yeah.
convert this into from a 30-second or 90-second reel, did you like
Mhm.
put it into text format and how many minutes you made that video?
So we kept the video as a link. We didn't showcase the video as its entirety. We wanted
Okay.
people to read it first. See, once
Okay.
you have the patience to read the entire paragraph that we have, you'll also have the patience to see the video as well. So
Fair enough. Yes.
we made that paragraph so enticing, as to be put in various offers. You see this, we'll give you a 1 month membership for free. We'll give you so and so products as complimentary, so on and so forth. And free is that kind of a word when the moment you see free, you're blank after that. You're just concentrated on the word free. You want
Right.
that free stuff. Who wouldn't? And we in fact had a good sign up limit as well. We had 1,000 members of sign up limit. So people just kept signing up over and over and over again. And for them to sign up, they actually had to watch the video because the video explains the process of signing up and how you're going to get the free stuff. So we
Okay.
got video views as well as post views as well. And we also got a conversions through that.
Okay. That's a great story.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
Right.
heading up to the questions again. So
Yeah.
as you said, you like in the initially days it was challenging for you. So what kind of challenges did you face in the in your initial days?
My goodness, we can actually write a book on this. So in the initial days, like people never trusted me. They were like, what does a 17, 18-year-old boy know about web development? There's so many people in the market. Competition was really high. And in fact, at the time of COVID, people really needed work. They were willing to do it at whatever price the customer was quoting. And at that point of time, it was really difficult just to, the client is okay with our work. They know they've seen the service we have provided them, but it was getting difficult for them to trust a 17, 18-year-old guy. They're like, what can
Obviously,
this
that
person do?
the age factor always
Exactly,
comes
the age
in when
factor.
you're
Exactly. Some people were really pleased with it. They were willing to give me a chance, and they did. And I'm really grateful to them because of that. I'm at this position. But there were some people who didn't want to do it at the initial stage. So what I actually later worked on was, and since I had actually started out, I needed some projects to showcase as well. And without me having a portfolio of my own, nobody will give me work. So I
definitely.
had a deal with them. I told them I will do your entire website for free. And these were the projects that I handled personally. I did it myself, and I managed everything personally. So there were about 18 websites that I had done for free, like completely full stack websites I had done for free, 18 websites. But the only thing I asked from them in return, there were two things. One was a positive review as to the kind of service that I provided them. And number two was I would only make their website live if they referred me another client. So now a client is already happy. He's like, okay, I'm getting a website for free. What more could I have? Because that's what he wanted. And I gave them, I paid for the domain name and for 1 year of their domain itself with their
Okay,
SSL
you went to
certificate.
that
And
extent.
yes, and I had a server of my own where I could, actually host hundreds of websites on my server. So I was
Okay.
like, you can have my server also for 6 months, but this is what I want. And they were more than happy
Okay.
to do it. Once the client had a trust in me, right? they established that trust in me that, okay, this boy can do something. He's already done it for me. He referred me another client. And when a referral comes from your own client, they already have a set thought as to what kind of service you can provide. So they don't have a second thought. And like that, how much I couldn't earn from my first client, I recovered that from my second client.
Okay.
So it
So
was a bullet strategy at that point of time,
yes, yes,
but it
definitely.
wouldn't have worked a long time for sure.
So, but
But
like
for that,
when you got referred the second client and all that, when you have for a meeting. So now,
yeah,
like for the viewers who will see this video later, they definitely
yeah,
like, people are just starting out. Like you're an inspiration for everyone at that age, this age to start
uh-huh,
something. So I've
uh-huh,
always noticed, like when I've met entrepreneurs and everything from the ranges of 17 to 21, so they basically
mhm,
have this fear, and mainly after that also ages, they have this
mhm,
fear, like when they like most of because now the universe, or you could say the business game has changed, where you are in that part of life where you give and then you take.
exactly,
Right. That's
exactly,
like
yeah.
how the new funda was going on. But there are many
Mhm,
times like this is like I would like to share this. So I recently met
mhm,
someone who's into like business, but he's
yeah,
more into the website making part, not the complete digital marketing. So he
mhm,
always had this thing where he was giving out a lot of work, and his work was very good, no doubt about it.
mhm,
So
mhm,
he had this issue, okay, where when he got a referred client, when he had to
mhm,
pitch his, when he had to ask for his paycheck or had to pitch his price, there was
mhm.
always that point where he always had this pressure on him that अरे इसने तो मेरे को रेफरेंस से आया है मैं इसको ज्यादा चार्ज नहीं कर सकता ज्यादा
अरे
कम
that,
चार्ज नहीं
हाँ,
कर सकता. So have you
yeah.
faced anything like that way? And if anyone is facing that particular thing, how would you like to like tell them, this is what you should do?
In fact, Mansoor, to be honest, this kind of thoughts actually arise, when you are doing business with your heart. So,
Right.
like you have that sudden pressure, you start getting emotional with your business. You're like, I've got this through a referral, and you don't want to lose that deal also. You're like, kuch to aa raha hai na, something at least is coming, something is better than nothing at least. If I overcharge him, he might have thoughts or something of that sort. I did come across this situation. In fact, I've come across this situation multiple times. And, in all these situations, the first thing I do is I ask my mom. So, my mom has been a thorough entrepreneur herself. And she has been a much bigger entrepreneur than me. And I can't even imagine if I can reach to her level as well. So, whenever I have such situations, I just go up to my mom. I tell her this is a situation. Like, I have a client who's come through a referral, and this is the price that he's stating. So my mom just advises me, don't get below this price at all. If you're providing him with that service, if you're giving him that work, he has to pay for the quality. If he doesn't pay you for the
Definitely.
quality, and then you reduce your quality as well. You tell them that in this much of price you're going to get all this. If you're going to reduce this, something or the other will cut off. Earlier it was difficult for me to understand. I was like, what, my mother, I don't know, she doesn't care about my business, she doesn't want me to grow. That's why she's giving me certain tips as to how my clients run away from me, they don't come to me. So I didn't try it for the first time. I was very skeptical about it. So I adjusted for the first time. I was like, okay sir, I will do your work, and we'll settle for a minimum amount itself. But later on we realized that client, he just paid me at I think around 10K for a good website, and he aram se removed 25,000 worth of services from me. And I
Okay.
understood, if you end up doing a charity work of this sort and you start thinking from your heart, at times you will end up paying a price for it. So later on, another client came up through referrals. I was like, we're not going to, back down. We are just going to ask the price that we need, because later on you'll at least have a peaceful sleep at night rather than taking the tension, their client's work is not done or something of that sort. So I pitched my client. I told them I'm not going to go below this, nothing of that sort. At that point of time, the client denied completely. They're like, we'll think about it and we'll get back to you. And the moment in this business, the moment somebody says you'll think about it and we'll get back to you, that means they're
They're
not
never
going to
coming
get
back.
back. They're not coming back at all. But shockingly, after 2 days, I get a call from his manager, and he's like, can you, reduce something? Can you give something complimentary or something? I was like, the least to least I can give you complimentary is my 6 months of service that I anyways give to every single website client of mine. And I will give you an SSL certificate wherein your website is secure. He was okay with it. And it was a done deal. And I later on went to my mom. I told her, this is how we have closed the deal. She's like, if you start thinking a business perspective with your heart, people will take you for granted. And they're there, and it is psychological that people end up taking you for granted, because even if we want something at our price, we end up breaking the price to a very least extent, and
Definitely.
it is a given. So if you start thinking it with your mind, then you won't have this kind of a situation at all. See, at times you have to be considerate. You have to know where to stop. You can't overcharge a client. And it's also good that you give something for free as well. It leaves a good mark. It leaves a good taste in the mouth later on for the client as well. They'll also think, acha, they've done such good service, plus again something for free as well, and they'll again come back to you for it. But if you just be pushy with the price and everything, at times even that doesn't work. So you have to have a right balance as to how you're pricing it and what you're giving it. If you're okay giving your service at that price, then go for it. Otherwise, it's also okay, certain times not taking that deal as well. Maybe that deal wasn't for you. You can't lower your services below a certain price. And also, I learned from an example which my mom only told me. So she was like, if you're buying clothes for yourself, and since we are also into manufacturing and exporting of clothes, so she gave me a very really great example. If you buy clothes for yourself, you get Nike t-shirts, jerseys, even in the showroom for 8,000, 9,000 rupees as well. But if you go to a market area, you will get the same first copy t-shirts for 800, 900 rupees also. So what's the difference? So the clear difference was a showroom, a Nike proper brands, they have their own pricing and they cater to their own clientele. Even though they have been sold at 800 rupees also, still people go to the showroom also to buy their 8,000 rupees stuff.
Definitely.
So you will have to have a brand image of that sort where you tailor to your clients in that way. You can't tailor to these clients as well as these clients at the same time. Yes, both are good. Both are your clients. They both are paying money. But there's a kind of clientele that you're supposed to handle. These clientele come based on your brand name, and these people just come for the sake of having. So rather than going for the people who just want to, go for the people who want your brand name. Build your brand name in that way that people will pay money to take you. So that was the concept that I went through, and it has helped me.
Definitely. That's like very truthful and being honest of you. Like you're putting it all out over there. So I think whenever someone hears this
Exactly.
out, they'll at least know that,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is what has to be done. Okay, moving on
Yeah.
to the questions. So
Mm-hmm.
can you tell us like according to you, what kind of strategy, like a company should build if they want to build themselves or get more customers on social media or any other medium?
Mm-hmm.
Any particular strategy that you would like to share?
So see, when it comes to social media and when it comes to company getting clientele, it's very important that they are very truthful with their offer. Certain times people put in, just blatant offers just to attract clients. And later, when the client comes, they're like, no, the offer has expired. Terms and conditions apply. They'll put off, and then they try to manipulate with that terms and conditions. So if you're looking for great chances of conversions, be truthful with your offer. Don't manipulate. If the customer rightfully deserves it, they should get it, because they're the sole reason why your business is running. And if these people only
Right.
don't come to your business, how else is it going to be? So that's number one. And number two is, don't try to build your followers on social media just by paying for it, because there are a lot of people, they just start off new, they want followers, they think follow is the only way of getting monetization done, of getting brand endorsements, sponsorships, etc., etc. So they pay Instagram as though there is no tomorrow, and they build their followers, all bot followers come up. Their
Yeah,
posts
yeah.
have 7 likes from actual people, but they have 7 million followers itself. So that's one of the worst mistakes that anyone could do, because once you get the habit of doing it, your actual conversions will get affected. Then nobody would ever trust you with your brand, because all you're doing is promoting to bots. You're not promoting to actual people.
Right.
So that's one of the major mistakes that nowadays millennials do, because they feel through TikTok and through Instagram, if they have that kind of a reach, obviously it is a platform for reach, but you can't get a shortcut through. You have to put in the work if you're doing it by yourself to get that followers, get that engagement. Put in the right content, be consistent with it, and you will definitely get what you actually desire in terms of social media.
All right. Have you anytime faced any kind of thing where someone has actually come up to you and said, bhai, मेरे को पता नहीं, मेरे को मेरा followers बढ़ा के दो, चीजें करो and everything. So like, have you like
I think,
tried to
yeah.
tell them this is all right? Have you had any kind of
Yes, yes,
incident with it?
we have. Oh my goodness, we have had all sorts of instances and situations where people have asked, certain things which they actually shouldn't do it by themselves. We
Okay.
have had people there, they come up, they're like, and in fact, these are my college friends as well. So they're
Okay.
like, bhai, mere ko hai na, I'm going to start an e-commerce business, something that, we sell through Instagram itself, merchandise, especially limited edition shoes and all that stuff. तो मेरे को followers बढ़ा के दे दे. I was like, yeah, if I have to build followers for you, your stuff on is more than enough. You are selling limited edition stuff, which people actually want. It is limited. That's why you're approaching the market. So you don't need followers. And like, no, dude, if people see that number, that 100K number, that 15,000 number and everything, they would get attracted to us more. I was like, dude, as a marketing analyst myself, I would definitely not recommend this to you. Don't try it at all. And in spite of telling people so much not to try, they end up doing what you tell them not to do. So that
Yeah, that's a
so that
fact.
person exactly. So that person went one night. He completely browsed through the entire YouTube video as to how to grow on Instagram in the fastest way possible. He spent around 7,000 on Instagram ads. In one night, he blew off 7,000 rupees. He got
Okay.
around by next morning he had 25K followers as well, but of no use. The kind of people he had to reach were very high clientele because limited edition shoes are very expensive, and they
Definitely.
and it says higher than the retail price as well. So and he was putting out posts and likes and reels showing showcasing his products and everything, but no conversions. And limited edition shoes are of that sort that you have to sell them within that time frame. You don't have a lot of
Right.
time because people keep getting first copies, then they're like, yeah, first copy mil raha to original kyun le, all that stuff they have in their mind. And the kind of client, and in fact because of what he had done, in his comment sections people started asking, first copy hai kya bhai, mere ko ye 900 mein mil raha hai, tum 1100 mein de rahe ho, all that stuff they started asking. So I was like, if this is what your approach is, this is the kind of clientele you're going to get. If you want to
Definitely.
do a prop if you want to do a proper marketing for the kind of product you're doing, remove this account as well completely, or remove all your followers and start off from scratch. And for him to achieve the 25K followers which he achieved in one night, took him almost a year to achieve that 25K followers. Right now he's still not achieved it. He's at 18K followers, but at least he's able to get his products sold. His shoes are going, he's able to get conversions, etc. That was the thing. People keep asking, followers बढ़ा दो, हमको engagement में, हमको post engagement चाहिए, we need more people to like, share. In fact, for the YouTube channel, they want people to have more. They want people to subscribe to the channel. They want to increase the subscribers. Even for YouTube, there's a backend. There's always
Definitely.
people want to subscribe and all. So I was like, dude, this is not going to work out. If you want something of this sort, we can very well do it, because in through YouTube you can actually see the number of people that have liked. If you have 1.4 million subscribers and only 100 people like your video, how where are that 1. Other 4 million balanced subscribers?
Right.
Why aren't they seeing it? So and obviously when a brand wants to sponsor someone, they check up all this, and these people are doing all this for that. And if they don't have all these criteria met, they would anyways be blacklisted, and whatever work they're putting in after all that stuff is also up to waste. So there's absolutely no point. Rather, you do set a proper base and work on that. And after going through all that, they end up doing all this. So I actually had nothing to say at that point of time.
No, no, I get that. Okay, so let's moving on to the next question.
Yeah.
What kind of industries or businesses till now have approached you for like social media?
And yeah, in fact, for businesses, we don't follow that niche kind of business. Like,
Okay.
marketing agency, they're like, you should have a niche business, you should follow only real estate, or you should only follow entertainment industry. I don't follow that. I'm like, if you're able to do marketing for a one particular industry, you can do for any industry possible. Every industry has one
Definitely.
pain point where you have to hold that, and you have to do marketing only for that. So I have been doing marketing for health and wellness, yoga especially, spiritual wellness, real estate, then sporting and gym equipment manufacturers, then also for a garment company, a manufacturing company as well. I have also tied up with shoes and slippers. Like there's another company that sells, very limited hype stuff in terms of clothing wear and in terms of shoes. That's been something, a great opportunity that we got to work with them. I've worked with cosmetic companies as well. Then, and these are all homegrown companies. Most of these are homegrown companies which have just started off and the thing. And some of the really established ones were in terms of real estate. Then also we've had legal, especially legal firms, etc. Legal firms can't openly market themselves because of
Yes,
the
that
kind of
is right.
service they are into, but we do discreet marketing where they're explaining the kind of cases they have gone through, because certain times people know what their case is all about. So once they see a reel or something about the kind of similar cases, then they end up approaching a legal firm. So in fact, we have done good enough marketing where we're not supposed to do for a legal firm as well. So we've not openly done it, but we have done it in terms of putting out reels. We have educated people through blogs, etc., etc., through which we got organic conversions rather than paying anyone for it. We've got great organic conversions there. Then we've done it for a chain of hotels as well. So yeah, the list goes on. In fact, there's no end to it. Also, we've also worked with saloons from Dubai, and we've also worked with perfume industries. Handmade perfumes. Just they use ether, right? So ether industries, etc. Yeah, that's all about it.
Definitely. Okay, so as you said, like you were sharing about your friend's story about like going one night and picking
Hmm.
up followers and everything. So, what would like
Exactly.
to tell our listeners over here that how could you generate that customer following or those followers or that organic reach? What should be like the main thing that they should be doing?
So when it comes to social media, use the relevant hashtags. Number one, for social media in your post should have hashtags. Put in as many hashtags as possible. In your paragraph itself, there's always certain keywords that people end up searching. Certain times people wouldn't know your page as well. So your keywords end up boosting your page. It shows on people have similar interests on their home feed, etc. Use the relevant hashtags. That's number one. Number two is reels have a very short time span. If you end up making it into a video, then you have a good amount of time. But in terms of reel, already there's a time restriction. So explain your product and service briefly in a crisp format in that time frame. Don't end up wasting your time telling this is the product, this is what it's all about, etc. Nothing of that sort. Just keep it crisp, and people will come forward. Number two is don't fool your customers at all. Customers are smarter than you at this point of time. This is the 21st century. Even if the customer wants something, the first thing they're going to do is search Amazon, Flipkart, Mintra,
Right.
Alibaba, everything they will search. They will do their own research and they'll come to you. So there is no point of fooling them. If you're trying to replicate, if you're trying to tell कि टोपी बना के आपको चले जाऊंगा, that is not going to work here. So be honest with your product. If your product is premium, charge them a premium price. If your product is not up to that mark, don't charge them. Charge them at a very competitive price, so that it's transparent between you and your client. Because for you, it's not that one-time business that you do. You have to have a long-term business relation with them as well. So make sure that all these criteria are met before everything. And in fact, to grow organically, this is the only way that you can go about
Right. So like and just to put a timeline to it, how much time does it take? Like you putting out content over here. So if you say, let's say someone is on Instagram right now,
it.
who's
Mm-hmm.
into like say he's selling basic products like say cosmetics or apparel
Mm-hmm.
for that matter
Mm-hmm.
of fact. And so like like you have everything around, you should post every day, you should do this, you should do that.
Yes.
Keeping
Yes.
all
Yes.
that like the strategy, what you just said, how much time
Mm-hmm.
will one take to at least reach 2K or 3K followers on Instagram or say
Mm-hmm.
connections on LinkedIn or just mix?
In fact, Mansoor, the thing with followers is, it's very dynamic. If you have great content which people are able to relate, your 2K followers will happen. Obviously, it takes months, but it'll happen, within 4 to 5 months straight. But you have to be consistent with your work. You have to keep putting out reels. You have to put great creatives, attractive ones, because ultimately, followers is not the only goal. These followers should at least, even if you have 2K followers, at least 10 people should buy your product. 10 people should buy your service. That's only your
Definitely.
half.
Yeah.
only after that your that hard work that you're putting in will at least get fulfilled. Kuch to aayega. Some 10 at least gets converted. That's only a big thing. In fact, and the people, if they are working tirelessly and still they don't get that consistency, because people shift their thinking. First they will start with something, they will come to something else, and they'll end with something else as well. They don't know how to diversify their portfolio in terms of service, in terms of a podcast itself. You can take an example for podcast. If you are starting a podcast channel of your own, certain people start with a niche of explaining only and interviewing people only from a certain background. They only start interviewing entrepreneurs, then they move on to cricketers, actors, influencers, etc. But here
Right.
people are influencing, they are getting into entrepreneurship, they are also getting into actors, they're also getting into so on and so forth. So people who are only interested to listen to entrepreneurs and everything, how would they relate to an actor's journey? An actor has a whole different field and whole different industry, and the person who wants to know how that actor's journey was been throughout, they would not be able to relate to an entrepreneur's journey. So do you have to be specific as to what you are actually trying to do? And only if you're specific, the time goes fast and you can achieve results in a short time, but even that's in months itself. And some people who don't put in that consistency and think, it can even take a year also. In fact, I have
Okay.
other entrepreneur friends who have been great support for my journey as well. They are into courses and selling of courses as to digital marketing and website building courses, especially like recorded videos, something like an ed tech, but a small firm. These people literally took 8 months to achieve 2,000 followers. But after you establish that benchmark, right, that 2K or 3K benchmark followers, from there it becomes a bit easier, because here, even when people come to your profile, if they see that you have 2K legitimate followers, they end up following you. They like your content, they share your content, they save it as well. So after achieving that benchmark, it gets a bit easy. It gets easy to reach out to other people, because by then you have gained so much of experience that you know how to grow your content. So it becomes easy then, and you can take things forward from
Definitely. That's really nice.
there.
That, like, I mean, like, people have to be like that open-minded and ready to put on
Yeah,
the hard work, like I remember this one, I remember once like influencer telling us like last time,
yeah,
he was like,
yeah,
people are not ready to do the same things again and again every day. And that is why
yeah.
most of the people are yet in poverty, yet are the place where they
Exactly.
don't want to.
Exactly. And that's the mistake they do. They end up starting with something. They are fully confident as to, this is what they have to do. And that only goes for 1 week. They get disheartened by, seeing the likes, followers, they'll have high expectations. In fact, when you start off with all these, keep zero expectations. Expectations is a place where you get hurt. It demotivates you. So don't keep any expectations. If numbers come, they don't come, no problem. You started off, you have a long journey to, achieve that goal that you have. So don't keep expectations, put on your content. You think your content is relevant for your audience, put it out. Even, in fact, people, if you have seen people like and share songs which don't even have sense, I would rather state examples of Dinchak Puja and stuff, that that song had zero sense, but it went viral overnight. People winking went viral overnight. They do all sorts of stupidity, it goes viral overnight. Then why wouldn't a person's educated and well established researched reel not go viral? Why can't that reach up people? Because that person is new and he doesn't know how to do that. So the only process that a person can learn is through his own mistakes. They have to know how they can go about it. And nowadays, Mansoor, the thing is, Instagram self teaches you about all this. They in fact advise you as
Mhm.
to boost post and have all that Instagram stuff, etc., etc. So it teaches you very well. And apart from that, there's no other thing that a person cannot do. They can actually achieve the results they want.
Definitely. Okay, this will be my last question for the professional, and then we'll head to the personal one.
Definitely.
As we all know, okay, like now
Hmm.
when we come to a point when all social media platform, be it Instagram, LinkedIn,
Hmm.
YouTube, and everyone in that part, everyone
Hmm.
talks about a particular algorithm, or everyone talks
Yeah.
about, until you're not going to pay Instagram or you're not going to pay a particular social media person or a
Hmm.
platform,
Hmm.
you're not
Hmm.
going to be able to grow. So, and after
Hmm.
that, I don't know, like after the series of Netflix which came out, Social Dilemma and everything had come up and
Oh
all
yeah,
that happened.
yeah,
So
yeah.
everyone went on the part where it was like everyone was like, no, ये लोग को हम लोग को अपना करना पड़ेगा तभी हम लोग आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. So would you like to say
Acha.
something on it? Like, is it true? Is it not true? Is there an algorithm? Is there not an algorithm? Or, or some sorts on that?
No, no, yeah. No, so see, definitely there's an algorithm, but there's a misconception for algorithm as well. So, how an algorithm works is it tells you, it guides you based on the kind of content you put up. Obviously, you put in money, you pay Instagram, you pay Facebook, they are going to boost your ads. They are actually going to help you with it. See, you are paying them even the smallest amount that you invest in ads. It's like an investment itself because you are expecting something in return. कुछ तो, even if you are investing 5,000, you are expecting अरे यार कुछ तो आ जाए, कोई likes, कोई comments तो आ जाए. And this is a kind of investment where these people are actually helping you get that. And if you are looking for short term result, like now I put a reel, I put a comment, I put a post, I need 10,000 watches, likes, shares, comment. For short term, this is well and good. You can sustain that expenses and you can get recovery from it as well. But if you're looking for a long term perspective, this is not an avid way to go, because at one point of time a customer will get saturated spending so much, like because that greed comes in. 5,000 दिया तो मेरे को 10 followers आए. If I give 10,000 rupees, how much will it come? I can get more. So
Right.
यहाँ क्या हो जाता है, people get that gambling वाला experience. They're like, I'll put in more, I'll pull in more, and they start spending everything on ads. They become very aggressive, and they don't understand the fact that ads are completely revolved around your audience. They don't do their audience selection right. Initially you'll get results. 5,000, 10,000 won't matter that much. You will get your results. But people seeing that greed, they start increasing 25,000, 30,000 per month. And in fact, they keep a daily budget itself for 3,000 rupees, certain people. And they don't do a proper audience selection. The money also has gone down the drain because Instagram, you can't go and hold Instagram's neck and tell them, yeah, I've paid you money, why aren't you giving me leads? Instagram doesn't even care about your profile. They have so many other profiles to handle. They've taken your money, you can't do anything about it. But what can you do that you have invested a money in this, your money, your hard-earned money, how to how to get back that return on investment? The first thing that you do is, if you're running ad, be patient with it. Do your audience selection thoroughly. You take 2 days, 3 days. In fact, we ourselves, for our company, we take 72 hours to do a proper audience selection in terms of the profile, because there are certain products that can only be shown, it is gender perspective. Certain products are
Right.
age perspective. You can't show baby products to everyone.
Right.
Baby products are shown to mothers newly becoming mothers, or parents, etc., young parents, etc. And that's the whole point of view. You have to have a proper audience selection, after which you start running ads for 15 days initially. You see how the kind of response you're getting with the kind of budget you have invested, because even Instagram, Google, etc., have certain daily budget. If you establish that kind of daily budget, guaranteed you are going to get clients, you're guaranteed you're going to get leads. That's what they say, and you do get. You see how the ads are working, how that algorithm is working for you, and then only plan on investing further. Before that, don't keep that expectation that, array, I'm investing 5,000, so I'll at least get 15,000. Yeah, you can. There have been
Okay.
instances you can get, but people have that crave, right? That 5,000, array, मैंने invest किया, कल के कल मेरे को 15,000 मिल जाएगा ऐसे. They think it's that RBI scheme or something that एक रात में पैसा triple up, एक रात में पैसा double. So I was like, this is not your hera fairy scheme here. This is a proper legitimate social media. You can't expect put 1 crore डालूंगा 2 crore मिलेगा मेरे को.
Definitely. That's really nice. That's very good advice from that. Okay, so we'll head off to the part 2. This is the personal round now. I think we pulled up a lot of time in the professional.
No worries. In fact, the conversation was so great that I didn't even feel that an hour is passed or so, and I'm actually enjoying this kind of conversation.
Yeah, definitely. We had some glitches in the start, but eventually it's working out. Okay, so the personal question. Okay, now we know about like your professional life. So now I'm going to dwell into a little bit about your personal life. So
Mhm.
I know you have just told me about like all the things that you do at your company and all that. What is the thing that you do in your
Mhm.
free time?
So in my free time, I'm a professional squash player. I play squash
Okay.
on a daily basis, but lately I haven't been regular for squash. But I have eventually made my deals with it, and I've told myself that 4 to 5, or 5 to 6, or 6 to 7, at least 1 hour of the day is for squash, because you have to take care of your health as well. So squash is one thing. Early in the morning, I go for swim, so that's a must thing for me. So without that, I don't feel my day has even started. So these are the two things that I do. I also analyze stocks, shares, etc. I also invest quite a bit on stocks and shares. And currently, marketing is not that great. For buying, it is really good, but for selling, it's not that great. So that's one. Then and also have a brave heart if you're investing in stocks and shares. Disclaimer. And that's it. And that's the only free time. I getting a free time itself is a luxury for me at this point of time. And
Right.
whatever time I have at the end, I spend with my family. I have a pet, so I end up spending good amount of time with him, and then back to bed. And next morning, get up, swim, go to college, come back, work, same old routine.
So, so if you have to like put it together, so your hobbies are basically like squash and swimming. Those are your number two hobbies, right? And
Yes,
then the
yes,
third one is
yes,
stocks and all. That is out of curiosity, I suppose, right?
yes, 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 yes.
Okay. So, and okay, so how does a typical weekend look for you? Like, so let's suppose you work from Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday.
Mhm,
So, how is your
mhm.
weekend? How do you like spend your weekend?
So my weekend actually it starts from Saturday. I think Sunday early morning. So mostly, especially the weekends. The Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm occupied with calls even till late night, like till 3 a.m. in the morning, because most of my clients are overseas, and
Okay.
when I have to sleep, they are awake. So I can't, just keep telling them it's
Definitely.
midnight. I have to take up their calls. So at Saturday night, mostly this is how it goes. Saturday at around 3 a.m., I'm done with all my calls. So I end up packing myself, getting fresh and going back to sleep. So once I'm asleep, I get up Sunday morning around, say I'll get up at 10:30, 11. And that's also not around, say. My mom keeps yelling, it's already 11 in the morning. What are you still sleeping, etc., etc. So I have to get up, I freshen up, and Sunday morning, especially during the weekends, I go visit my grandparents. So even they reside in Bangalore itself. So I go meet them, and even there we have a pet with my grandmom. Like we have a pet dog, and I go meet them. I spend some time with them. I spend the afternoon with them. I have lunch and everything. I come back, then I have I prepare myself for Monday. As to I do my checklist as to what and all I have to do this week, or the kind of people that I have to talk to, get back on conversations, so on and so forth. Then obviously college students, so I have to get done with my assignments. Then if there are any assignments, I have to do that, homework, exams, etc. And by the time Sunday gets over, I in fact wish, why do we have Sunday when even in Sunday we have to work this much? Why do we have Sunday? Let's just do the weekday. In fact, to be honest, Sunday ends up going so slow. You always wish, अरे यार Sunday क्यों खत्म नहीं हो रहा? I want Monday to start. Because when you're in that weekday ka flow, no, that workflow, that because of all that work, you don't realize how the time flies.
Right. You
Like,
don't.
but on a weekend when you have absolutely nothing to do, and when you have boring stuff to do on weekend, you just cry as to yaar Sunday kyun hota hai? Monday aao na, please jaldi aao Monday. I need work, I need to talk to people, I can't stay at home and just be to myself. So some people might
It's like
call that
everyone's story,
because
Yeah.
exactly. And in fact, I've had this thing. Many people have asked me, yeah, I think, you're the only person that wants to go to Monday. Others people want that peace. They want to relax at home. They want to sleep, etc., etc. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just relentless or something where people are not relentless, because I love my work. I want to, get back to my office, talk to my colleagues. I want to see, how the website's being built, etc., etc. See, I understand once you get into the family zone and everything, you have your responsibilities. That's a whole different thing. But for guys like us, we don't have that kind of responsibility. So, and for people like me, I really want to get back to my work. So maybe because of that relentlessness, I just don't like weekends.
No, no, definitely. Since you are like talking about like, family, work life. So do you believe in work-life balance or do you think it's a myth?
अरे यार, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस फॉर एन एंटरप्रेन्योर कुछ होता ही नहीं है इनफैक्ट. See, कुछ होता ही नहीं है. In fact, for people like they say that you should have a balance with work. Yeah, you should have. Certain times your work demands so much of you that you're not able to give time to your family, and then your family starts nagging. They're like, pura time, come. You should know that we also exist in your life. It's not just work that's happening. So what I think is, and what I believe is, don't make work life balance the theoretical aspect in your life. If you have to give a good balance, you have to prioritize things. If your work is your priority, finish your prioritable work first, and also give your family that priority. Because if you establish your priorities right, no matter, even if you don't have time, but still at the very end of the day, you still end up making some time for it. There's no doubt about it. Even if you, now suppose if you have some important meeting next morning and you have to prepare for it tonight, even though you have a lot of work, you will still prioritize that. You will finish thoda bahut at that evening, so that tomorrow morning you're prepared for it. And also you have to spend time with your family. They are also very important. So you will
Definitely.
end up prioritizing that, and you will end up spending time with them. And it's all about setting your priorities, right? That's it.
All right. So, like when you were in school
Mhm.
and like say you were in the ninth grade and then 10th, do you
Yeah.
have any kind of a memory where you're like, "Nee, when I go into college or something, मैं ये शुरू करूँगा, वो शुरू करूँगा," and you have happened like
Mhm.
told it to your friends or family and they have taken you a little bit like in a funny way. Do you have any kind of funny
Yeah.
memories of those things?
Yeah, I do. In fact, like in 9th and 10th, I was a very introverted guy. I wouldn't, talk to people, and I was, mm, and worst of all, I was in from an all boys school. So it was very difficult for us to talk to girls and get have that communication going on with them, etc., etc. But
Mhm.
I did my 11th and 12th from my own school. But the thing in 11th and 12th was it became co-ed, so it became extremely difficult for me to communicate with people. And for the kind of introverted guy I was, I had great plans. I wanted to get into the festing community. I wanted to be part of student council. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. But for all this, I needed people to know me. I needed that popularity. And obviously, even if you want to contest for student elections, you have people should know you. Students should know you. Only then they're going to vote for you and they're going to be in that. Nobody knew me, and they didn't know me because I never spoke to them. That's the whole point. That was my fault. But I then later on, what I did was during my 11th and 12th, I was like, to hell with student council. At least festing community, I'll take part of it. So I used to work at the back ends of the fest. I used to, initially when I got done with 10th, I had learned graphic designing. That was the
Yeah.
first thing that I ever learned professionally. So graphic designing, I learned Corel Draw, Adobe Illustrator, etc., Photoshop, and everything. So that came of a great use to me in 11th and 12th, because for fest we need banners, we need flyers, etc., brochures, and everything, certificates. So I was their go-to guy. Even though I should not talk at all, people knew that this is the only person that can get your work done. So whatever the needs was in terms of graphic designing and stuff, video editing and all that, they would come to me. They were like, dude, just do this and give it to us. We need it. Now, because of my work, I became popular, not because of the person I was. So that really worked out like a charm. That was a whole different era, I'd say.
Uh, Definitely, no, you're getting recognized by your work. Like those, like
Yeah.
that's like a dream of many over here. Like in the
Mhm.
industry, to get recognized because of your
अरे
work.
but the thing at that point, I had this an intention कि अरे यार कोई मेरे को मेरे लिए जाने, somebody should know me for me, like just because you need work you're coming to me. I had that misconception. I was like, यार this fellow only wants me because he has to get some work done. He doesn't even know my name properly. He doesn't even know which class I'm in, but he wants to get this done. That's why he's coming to me. I have that misconception. But later on, I realized that they only came to me because I was good at it. No, there were other people who knew, because at that point of time, Canva and all had come up. People knew, what Canva is all about, and they should do that. But still, they would come up to me. They were like, do it from scratch and give it to us. So I was like, okay, fine. Later on, I realized it, but at the time, everything, college got over, 12th got over. Now we are in undergrad, so it's of no use.
Now, just to add to that point, I faced a similar
Mhm.
situation. So during that time, I
Uh-huh.
had one of these teachers who gave me this quote. She's
Uh-huh.
like, do not be ashamed or do not be embarrassed that people only come to you at
Mhm.
the work at the need of the at the need of hour of work, because you're like that lighted
Uh-huh.
candle that's only going to come in
Yeah.
use when it's in darkness. And then I heard that and
Mhm.
I can relate with it now, very beautifully.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really a very nice quote. It's very relatable as well. And I had a misconception regarding that. I never knew. I was like, what lighted candle? People don't know me only at this point of time. मैं candle लेके क्या कर लूंगा? And in fact, teachers used to, give like motivate me. I like don't feel bad because I had also contested for student election, but I didn't obviously win because nobody knew me at that point of time. So they were like, don't get disheartened. It's okay. You do great work, carry on with it. Like theek hai, there's 2 years only, what people know. But now people know me because of my work. I feel proud of it. I'm like, array, that's really nice. People know me because of my work. They're approaching me. Now I feel proud about it. First, the thing that I used to feel bad about, now I'm feeling happy about. So see, that's again a dicey mind.
It is, it is. So during this whole course of like building yourself, building this company, like family and everything, has there been any kind of a moment in your life where you're like, damn it, I'm giving up on everything, I'm just going away?
Well, there was one situation though. Like when we had initially started off, we hit one client, and this was our first overseas client, and he was from Bahrain. So we did this project with full dedication, and in fact, we do all our projects with dedication. But this was a very special project. First overseas project, client didn't know proper English, and we were like, no, we have to do great project for them. We have to do the best, and this will be like a golden ticket for us to expand in that country, because
Right.
Bahrain is that sort of a country which has a lot of Indians, but they don't know how to get things done over there. They want it, they have a lot of money, but they don't know how to get things done. So they approach people like web developers from India to get their websites done for them. So this was our main goal, and also in terms of marketing, since it's United Arab Emirates, it could only be sold. The product could only be sold in their country. It couldn't cross the boundaries of it. So we're like, okay, fine, let's do a marketing. We did the marketing. We did the website. After this project, for about 3 to 4 months, we didn't get any clients. Zero, nothing. I would just pay my colleagues of no, because 3 months, and that too it was COVID time. They were desperately asking, please give us something at least. We don't have anything at home, and expenses are so high. Stores are not opening, medicines have become expensive. So that 3 to 4 months was very difficult, like, and plus our company is bootstrapped from the bottom of it. So it became very, and there was a lot of cash burn. Like I'm simply paying them 3 to 4 months of no use, no client, nothing coming in. So, and that time I also just laid off a lot of people as well. I was like, yeah, this is not happening with me and everything. Then after that, my mom itself, she advised me. She's like, hire people from companies where after the non-disclosure agreement, they can actually get clients for you. Non-disclosure agreement lasts 2 years max. So in this 2 years of COVID, कौन कितना ही काम कर लेगा? Hire these kind of people. They will after the agreement is done, they can refer clients which used to come to their company to your company. So in that way, at least through your colleagues itself, they're getting you work and earning. And whoever is getting you that client, give them an additional commission. Tell them with your salary, you'll also get 10% or 15% commission added to it. That really worked. So then we started hiring, team from other companies, and we started having contacts with Google Ads, and everything. And we started establishing personal touch with the team at Google itself. And this really helped us in terms of marketing, because certain times when it came to marketing, we were dicey about how to go about it. So we used to make a phone call, we should tell them this is so and so the situation, and they should rectify it immediately, whereas Google takes 48 to 72 hours to rectify it. But for us it became instantaneous, and our main factor why people came to us was our price was good, and the time frame in which we completed the project was very less, and they were happy with it. So, but at that point of time, when we had zero clients for that 3 months, it was really heartbreaking. I was at one point, I was like, "Nahi, yaar, this is not happening at all. I'll just get done with it." But miraculously, after that 4 months, after we made all these changes and that too internships and all, we used to recruit college students only at that point of time to do the rough grind work and everything. So then after that, we hired two professionals, proper professionals from thing. They got us one client, and that client later on had us for 6 months. So for 6 months, we were safe. अच्छा ठीक है, from this client 6 months कुछ तो आ रहा है, recurring कुछ तो आ रहा है. Then we used that, we again invested in the company, we grew that, and from that, touch wood, we are stable as of now.
Definitely.
So that was one boiling point.
If you have to describe Shashank in one line, what would be that one line that would describe you?
I would say a man of mystery and whose power can only be exceeded by his mystery.
Okay. So would you like to elaborate that a little
Yeah,
bit
so
more?
it's
Why
like,
a certain?
definitely. So, like I've heard a lot about this from my clients as well. So, clients have this. I don't know. I don't know whether it's common for everyone, but they have a sign, of predicting and kind of, making out what the other person might be thinking. Like even if you're having a conversation, a formal conversation with a client or someone, like you have this thing running in your mind. What can this person be thinking at so and so time? Whether he's going to accept my offer or no, so on and so forth. So there was this one client of mine that told me, Shashank, you're a very mysterious person. It's very hard to predict what you're going to say and what decisions you're going to make. And such kind of a person is, like either he has a lot of knowledge or he has a good amount of, sense of the kind of approach he's going to give. And that's the person that gave me this line. Is like, you are actually a person with who's completely mysterious and also has good amount of knowledge in terms of power, which is your power, and your mystery can only be exceeded by the power of knowledge that you have. So since then, that line has completely been with me, and whenever somebody asks me this is the thing that I tell it to them.
And that's a very beautiful line given to you by a client. So the client is yet with you? He's yet working with
Yeah,
you?
he's still, yeah, he's still with us, and touchwood, he's with us since the time we've started. So
Okay.
we still do marketing for him. In fact, we do everything from A to Z marketing, then to get them T-shirts for their events, fest, blogs, everything we do in-house. And for him, in fact, since he's such a good client, we've also given him great concession. But we have great respect for him because he was one of those people who gave me that break at that point of time, and that client has seen me grow. So it's all because of these people that we end up growing.
Definitely. So the coming towards the second last question. Okay.
No, yeah.
Yeah. The second last. We'll have a last one. Don't worry. So what are like your retirement plans? I mean, that's very too like early to ask, but then eventually there's always that part in life where there is an end. So where do you see yourself
Yeah.
in that post-retirement plan or the
Oh,
end?
my retirement plan is completely clear. Exactly, it's completely clear. Like I had planned out completely. This is how it's going to be. Like even though it's true that whatever you plan is not going to work the way you plan it, but it's good that you have so and so plan. Even if you don't achieve it at that point of time, maybe 2 or 3 years later you end up achieving. So my plan is that by 45 or max to max 50, get done with your major part of work, which requires your complete dedication to it. Even now, what I've done is I've automated all my work. So client comes in, talks to me, they have a manager, all the work is automated. I don't have an active initiative as of now as well. The only active initiative is me having a conversation with client. If they have something wrong going on, I talk to them. That's it. But then later on, and even at that point of time, I want this itself. Even though I have some part of active initiative now, at that point of time, I don't want to even have this. I want to completely automate everything, put my business on running itself so that it keeps generating me income throughout the business life itself. Have good source of recurring income through assets like real estate, properties, flats, etc. And you're set with it. Then after 50, just chill. Let your higher people, they can take over the company as well. They can take over company. You start delegating work, diversify it, build a good team, and let them handle it. You just sit back and relax.
Okay.
That's my retirement plan.
That's the exact retirement plan.
Yeah, but I don't know how it's going to work. But let's hope for the best.
You will definitely. So the last question of like the day today.
Mhm,
So say Shashank, everything ends for you in the next
mhm,
2 years, like, in a very bad way I mean, it never happens to you, God
mhm,
forbid, but
mhm,
just like a thought.
mhm.
How would you build yourself again if that point comes to you?
If that time ever comes, I would be like, I would be the most happiest person. The reason is I've lived my full entrepreneur life. Like in a life of an entrepreneur, you start with nothing. You have everything at one point of time. You have your team, you have good cash inflow, everything. You have a sudden fall and then you again have nothing. And then at that point of time, if you are able to rise again, then there is nothing as commendable as that. And for me to rise, I would just be, that my life, my experience itself, I can teach so many people with that experience, because this is all what a business goes through. They have a start, they have an introduction, they have that rise, they have that boom, and then they have that fall. This is common in every business. But for us to handle all this business, this ups and downs in life, that's the most important thing. And given the thought that my family is really strong with all this, they have been supportive throughout. So definitely I'll get through it and I will again start off, because we are a family business. Like business is just built in us. Like there was nothing else apart from this. So we'll again stand up from where we started. We can again start, because we have to know the roots from where we are started. If we know the roots, it's not at all difficult, to start again.
Definitely. That's next. Okay, so we finished with the personal round. We'll be coming last to the third, which is the rapid fire. So this is
Definitely.
choose one, leave one. Okay. So there'll be
Yeah.
three questions in this. Whatever you relate with, you choose one of them.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the term sab moh maya hai ki kal dekh lenge, which one you relate with?
uh, कल देख लेंगे.
Okay. From the cities around the world, would you
Mhm.
like to go to New York or Kashmir?
Kashmir.
Okay. Your favorite food, if it had to be between a pizza or a masala dosa, what would it be?
Masala dosa any day. Any day masala dosa.
All right, that's great. Okay, so we come to the end of the session. So before we go, just a few more things that we wanted to like know about you,
Yeah.
Shashank. So as you said that your company is like automated right now.
Mhm.
So do you
Mhm.
currently like have an office space or
Yes,
you're
we
working
do.
like thing?
No,
Yeah.
no,
So
we
tell
do have an
me.
offline space. So our office is situated in Bangalore, Shantinagar, and
Okay.
our team also is situated here itself. And we also have a set of team that works online, because during COVID, even now, recently, we had one of our colleagues that were COVID positive. So that off and on wasn't working really for us. So we are like, the people who are required on a regular basis come to office, and if people who are not required to come to office, you can work as a hybrid system. Like you can come here, and you can finish your daily log, finish your work log, and you can go home. We have to be flexible at this sort of time. And plus it's worked out for us as well. For us, as long as the work is being done, it's more than enough. And in terms of automation, and everything has a flow. Like we've established that flow of pattern. The client comes, they immediately meet me, they talk to me, because until and unless a client doesn't talk to me, I don't take up the project at all. I have to understand their requirement first. So they talk to me, I make a note of all what their requirements are. I move it to the manager who's going to handle their project. So every client gets their own manager. So he handles their projects from start to end, and in terms of their web development requirement and everything. And then it moves on forward. Once their website is completely developed and it's almost at the finishing stages, I again hop on a call with my clients. I ask them if they're going through any discrepancies or any wrongdoing or something, which I might not be aware of, because who might say that they are doing wrong by themselves. So I had to ask this for my clients. I take up full responsibility, because at the end of the day, they know me as a company, my staff or anything. So when once everything is okay, once the final payment comes in, we make it live, and that's all. The project is done.
All right. That's a deep insight again from like understanding how the structure of your company works. All right, Sashank, that was a great conversation with you. I would like to thank Lions Club of Mumbai Shining, the Emerging India Forum TIFF, and IBG Chamber of Commerce for like supporting us with the coffee conversation. And thank you, Shashank, for being a part of our show. It was a great conversation.
Mansoor, it was an amazing conversation. It was an absolute pleasure being on this platform. I would, like to thank the Lions Club and all the other initiatives that have, helped bring up this conversation. And I hope that our conversation can be impactful for various other entrepreneurs, and aspiring entrepreneurs that want to take up this journey. So
It will definitely be, Shashank.
Thank you
It
so
will,
much.
and we're looking forward to having another coffee conversation also. So don't worry.
Definitely, I would love to be on that. Definitely.
All right, Shashank. Great having you. Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you so much, Anjan. See you. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.